Has anyone out there felt like Alex DeLarge from the movie A Clockwork Orange lately? Straight-jacketed, strapped to a chair, eyes held open with speculas, forced to watch Free Palestine and genocide content between mainstream cable channels, podcasts, and social media. We're all programmed to believe that this is the moral culture crisis of our time. And if you don't interrupt your bowling league tournament to speak out, well, you're part of the problem. But what about the other targeted killings across the world that we never seem to hear about? Thousands of Christians are slaughtered in Nigeria. White farmers and their families are disproportionately tortured, raped, and murdered in South Africa. Right here in our own backyard, we have rolling genocides in black communities across this nation between gang warfare and abortion. Yet you won't find a single protest march, campus encampment, or lousy Instagram post about it. The media, Hollywood, and academia push one approved genocide while avoiding the others that don't fit the narrative. This is all industrial level selective outrage. But why? Thanks for stopping by NPC Overrider, where we challenge mainstream source code to develop independent thought, one user story at a time. Grab your eye drops, and let's check out the latest programming. Block 1. The Christian Slaughter in Nigeria and Beyond. You wouldn't know it, but according to Open Doors World Watch List 2026, over 388 million Christians live under high to extreme religious persecution. Nigeria is the worst as far as the body count goes, with 3,490 Christians murdered there in the last reporting period alone. Terror organizations like Boko Haram, Islamic State West Africa Province, or ISWAP, and Fulani militants account for the majority of killings there. Churches are torched, pastors are executed, women and children are butchered. Some would have you believe that these are just rural clashes between farmers, and this kind of stuff happens all the time between Muslims and Christians. And let's suppose that was the case. Why is it that there's zero coverage of the systemic extermination of followers of Christ? 4 out of 10 of the worst countries on earth for Christians are in the Middle East, including Iran at number 10, Libya at number 9, Syria at number 6, and Yemen at number 3. North Korea and Somalia are the most oppressed, where Christianity is outright illegal and strictly enforced, but you'll hear nothing of this during a celebrity award speech. Block 2. White farmers in South Africa. Now let's head down to South Africa, where we find yet another ignored murderous epidemic. Despite being amongst some of the highest murder rates on the planet, we hear nothing from talking heads on TV about the violence on white African farmers and their families. Farms across the cradle of civilization, as they call it, are common venues for torture, rape, and murders of entire families. Afriforum tracked 184 attacks in 2025 alone. White farmers are the racial minority, yet are disproportionately victimized, and it's been going on for decades. According to the Transvaal Agricultural Union of South Africa, between 1990 and 2017, looking at farm-related murder, a total of 1,938 people were killed. Of these victims, 1,697, or 87.6%, were white, with 241, or 12.4%, were black. Politicians openly chant, quote, "kill the Boer," meaning kill the white farmer, at rallies. But nobody calls this hate speech. The press says it's just crime and it affects everyone. But the level of brutality, targeting of whites mixed with widespread political rhetoric, suggests something far more sinister. Yet again, no red carpet outrage, no celebrity montages. Block 3. Black Lives Matter? Now let's head back home, where the inverse is happening in American cities. Black Americans make up about 14% of the population today, yet suffer homicide victimization rates around 20.6 per 100,000, while homicide rates for whites stand at about 3.3 per 100,000. All at the hands of far-right white nationalists, I'm sure, right? Not even close. Black-on-black crime accounts for 94% of those murders, usually by way of gang warfare. Then there's the baby murder. Here's what the CDC published in 2022. Black Americans made up 11.7% of people living in the United States, yet accounted for 39.5% of abortion. An estimated 664 black babies are killed by abortion every day. Nearly 43 black babies will die by abortion for every 100 live births. And yes, we can note that there's slight variations between how many black people are living in the U.S., because different surveys vary depending on the questions they ask, as far as multiracial questions or broader definitions overall. So that's why you see the discrepancy. But for reference, let's look at whites. White Americans made up 57.7% of people living in the United States, yet accounted for 31.9% of abortions. An estimated 536 white babies are killed by abortion every day. Nearly 11 white babies will die by abortion for every 100 live births. 664 babies that never had a chance to see daylight are snuffed out daily. That's not systemic racism? Nah, that's just healthcare for women of color. Block 4, the one-way street, a globalist agenda. So what's the common thread between these three cases here? Well, it's a globalist ideology, a system that requires unlimited tolerance from the Christian West while applying zero pressure to non-Western cultures to expect the same. For example, in Europe and North America, Islam gets the white glove treatment. Public schools install prayer rooms. offer halal menu options, and modify school schedules to accommodate Muslim students while fasting during Ramadan. But when Christmas comes around, us Christians better not even think about saying Merry Christmas. Can Christians expect similar accommodations when going to places like Saudi Arabia, Iran, or Pakistan? Not quite. In fact, Christians visiting these countries are bound to encounter apostasy and blasphemy laws, or worse. But I guess we're just Islamophobic. Final patch. Why? But why ignore these obvious genocides? Well, because they don't fit the Marxist globalist approved agenda. Muslims murder Nigerian Christians, black Africans slaughter white African families, countless black lives are liquidated daily, but none of it can be pinned on whites, Christianity, or the West, so the machine memory holds them. When a career criminal dies with a cop's knee on his neck in Minneapolis, the nation burns. Yet when blacks gun each other down in the streets and murder their babies by the millions, absolute silence. A woman uses the N-word in a public park. A national crisis. A Muslim's machete lands on a Christian baby's neck. We've been strapped in this chair, eyes forced open for too long to accept a Marxist globalist agenda, and we all know it. The only question is, who can help us out of this damned straitjacket? Well, that's going to do it for this version of NPC Overrider. I'm your lead engineer, Greg. All references are available through the release notes or will be shortly. If you want to help me save the NPCs, join the dev team and hit subscribe and set the like button to true. But for now, we're going to grab a beer. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good one.